Representative Rutherford is recognized on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, it is at this time that I regret, after almost 23 years in this body of dealing with this issue, I had to sit yesterday and listen to the disabled come to the State House and say why they believe they needed to remain where they were in line for vaccinations, if not move up, because the difficulty that they have moving around and getting vaccinated. We listened as they talked about adult daycares and the difficulty that they're having with getting vaccines. We listened as the teachers talked about how they needed to make sure that they got vaccines so that children could be educated in this state. We listened for 3 hours to more than 55 speakers as they talked about how vital it was that the people they represented get in line for vaccines. My remarks at the end of the day is that it sounded like a modern day Hunger Games, where everybody needed to come and raise their hand to tell this body that their lives were in jeopardy if they could not get a vaccine. And one of the speakers yesterday said 8,000 people in this state have died because of COVID-19. And yet in this very body, we serve with people that believe that the government should not make people wear masks. It's a form of mind control. They don't want the government to tell them what to do with their health care. Yet we sit here today proclaiming life. A Senate bill, which is number 1, and for those of you that don't know, number 1 means that was the first bill up, the first bill they dealt with. Not 8,000 deaths, not 1,200 deaths because of opioids, but the fetal heartbeat bill. The Democratic caucus is here to proclaim that we are tired of it, that we are tired of the hypocrisy, that we care about life until death, that we care about birth, we care about life, we care about people eating, people not dying because they can't get vaccines, people not dying because they can't get tests, people not dying after they're born. We don't believe that life begins when science says it does not, and we more firmly believe that we are here to take care of people. I believe it's somewhere in the Bible that states that judge ye not by your words, but by your actions. And as we look at S1, we can't help but wonder whether we're reading the same text. We can't help but wonder when we look at 8,000 deaths and 1,200 deaths, whether we are being mindful of our own actions. And Mr. Speaker, for that reason, the Democratic caucus will not be with you today. Mr. Speaker, for that reason, the Democratic caucus is not going to participate in this farce of a vote about pretend life. Because we know that there are real issues out there that are confronting us every day. They're confronting the citizens of this state every single day. And when we weigh those interests against spending our time in here debating this issue, the Democratic caucus simply chooses not to enter in that fray. So at this point, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, the Democratic caucus will exit the House floor and leave you all to the farce, which is a debate about life. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Rutherford. Mr. Simrall, for what purpose you rise, sir?
The previous question.
Mr. Simrall moves the previous question pending